Alright, today we're going to learn how to take one of these and something like this and turn it into something extraordinary. You can see that I've got my iron set for about 360 or about 200. And first thing that I like to do is take the iron and go in at an angle, about a 45-degree angle. And you're going to have to give it a second to soften up the foam, but you'll feel it give. And I just start by rolling the initial edge. Just like that. And I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. Again, about a 45-degree angle just to get that edge to roll over. Take your time. It's going to take a second or two. If the foam instantly melts, then you've got it way too hot. I don't know if the camera angle's good there, but we'll see. So now you can see as the edge starts to come together a little bit. Let's see if I can get it in the camera there. So now I kind of flatten it out and roll the iron over it as I close that gap. And you can see now how nice that edge is looking. So again, this is what we started with. This is the raw laser cut edge, kind of gnarly, and then this is the new smoother edge that we have. You can also use it on trailing edges, and for that I usually like it to take it to the edge of the table, but I can demonstrate here. Again, you just start at a 45, let the foam start to warm up a little bit, and apply a little bit of pressure. And again, you'll just, as the foam melts, you'll feel it give. Just work that iron slowly back and forth. And again, I like to use the edge of the table here. But let me see if I can demonstrate holding it. And what I like to do is usually just do the upper surface and bring it down to tie into the lower. But if you had a more aerobatic aircraft, I guess you could do both sides. And again, working on the trailing edge, I like to have it on the edge of a table just to make sure I get a nice crisp edge. And you can see what that's done now, hopefully, is it's created a nice trailing edge on there. And already this foam board is much stiffer than it is. You can see I hardly have any flex on the side that I trimmed up versus the other side. Even with the trailing edge, it's stiffened up. The ends, the corners, are kind of tough, and what I like to do is just kind of put it on that circle and rock. You can't see that, can you? Alright, let me try on the other side then. So on the radii here, just put that in and work it in. And I got distracted and melted the foam a little too much. Like I said, practice makes perfect. One last thing I'd like to show you is on control surfaces. I'm just going to crack this open. You can also do your bevels. So you can see there's our open bevel right after we crack it open. I'm going to use basically the same technique that I used on the trailing edge. And again, just take your time, let the iron do the work. This is kind of like cutting with the X-Acto. You don't want to put a lot of pressure. You do want to give it a little bit of pressure just to shape the paper the way you want to get a nice crease in there. But you shouldn't be white-knuckled at this point. So I'm just going to let that, again, the heat of the iron melt that foam for me. The pressure that I'm putting down on it then blends the foam into it. And there we have it. So now we've got a nice pretty bevel just like we need, but now there's no paper loss or worried about the paper delaminating because we've actually melted it back to the foam. Now what I probably would do is go ahead and put your glue line down there just like we normally do, just to make sure that it's nice and rigid. And the nice thing about this, if you want even more throw, you know, I could come on the other side and do a double bevel here. So hopefully this video's helped. I think if you have a spare iron laying around like this guy, give it a try. You'll notice that it might tear up your coating a little bit because of the roughness of the paper, so don't use your best iron on this. But if you're at a swap meet and you see one of these for $5, I suggest you pick it up, if nothing else, just for the foam board. So, thanks for watching.